Et esimeseks siis kutsuks ma meie selle Eesti programmi doonorpartneri KOS-i nõuniku härra Bjørn Rongevääri, kellel on väga pikaajaline kogemus erinevate rahvusvaheliste koostööprogrammide koordineerimisel ja konsulteerimisel. Ja tema on olnud ka üks nendest, kes on tegelikult Norra poole pealt väga palju panustanud riskilaste noorte programmi ettevalmistamisesse ja väljatöötamisse. So, please, you're welcome.
Let me first check if my microphone works. Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Madam Ambassador. I just saw the ministers had to run out for other obligations. I have a presentation today, but listening to the introductory remarks by the ministers and by the ambassador, I decided to leave my presentation aside. So based on this presentation, which someone could maybe just press through, I'll give a few remarks on bilateral cooperation. The Norwegian government's agreement with the European Union provides for a good framework for cooperation between Estonia and Norway. Through the EEA agreement, we become part of a joint European context, although Norway is not a member of the Union. This relationship is a give-and-take relationship by which Norway is obtaining benefits but also making contributions. One of the contributions is the EEA Norway grants. Under these grants there are 144 programs, of which 10 or 11 are implemented here in Estonia, and we're here to launch the Children and Youth at Risk program. Most of these programs have Norwegian program partners. KS is privileged to be the Norwegian partner for the program we are launching today. This gives us a good opportunity to establish stronger and more bilateral cooperation than we already have. KS is the voice and the interest organization of local authority, of municipalities and county councils in Norway. Norway has a territorial administration which is fragmented and very diverse in terms of size, both territorial size and population size. This is also the case in Estonia. How does Norwegian local governments go about this diversity? They cooperate a lot, they take part in networks, they learn from each other, etc. And we have a lot of practice and a lot of techniques for helping even the smallest municipalities comply with their obligations. KS has been facilitating for the last 10 years a host of networks to provide good, efficient services also in the smallest municipality in a lot of sectors, including in terms of child welfare. So we have a long experience with making a system, a national standardized system, work for partners who are very uneven in size and population. The experience from these networks is brought into the national context through the consultation we have, systematic, periodic, with the government, the main ministries which are dealing with delivery of social services, education, child welfare, etc., etc. And I'm therefore very glad that the ambassador mentioned the modification to these two pieces of legislation sitting in Parliament for decision this week, because that will also have the implication on how KS work with its members. We will establish programs to help them incorporate the letter of the law into their programs. And we are about to do so. My colleague here, Anne Jensen, will be able to speak more about this to people who are interested. Now, there are similarities between Estonia and Norway in terms of the way we organize ourselves and the way we want things to work. Norway has a lot to learn from the way Estonia organizes its social welfare system and other public services, and that's why it's interesting for Norwegian partners to join up with you in implementation of programs and projects. And that's why we're here. It's, from our perspective, something we can learn from. But we also have things to offer for you. And this is a fertile ground for establishing bilateral cooperation. KS has been appointed a program partner. One of the main tasks for us is to help identify who could work with who. And what would the benefit for someone in Estonia be to work with an agency, an institution, an organization, a municipality in Norway be? So we are basically, one of our main tasks is to helping our Estonian partner identify where you can find the expertise, the best practice, and the example you are looking for when you are trying to improve your system or change your system. So any wish for information could be channeled to us, and we'll do our best to help you identify who should be your partner. The other way we also try to mobilize our own membership to take part in these programs, because child welfare is a municipal task both in Estonia and Norway. When I say it's a municipal task, it's not only a municipal task, it's a task which is split between levels of government in Norway, and it's the same in Estonia. This is obviously done because we have territorial administration which does not allow for distributing the task to the lowest level of government. So we have the example to show you how this can work with different levels of government involved in delivering the service. In Norway, it's split between the government, which has a ministry, an agency, etc., and local governments. And then you have the county council, which have some supervisory functions in the system. You are planning to set up your own system here, and you can look what works in our system and what does not work. In terms of child welfare, I think it's very fair to say that Norwegian children have never had better lives than they have today. Yet, we know that there was never as high a demand for child welfare service in Norway as in 2012. So demand is increasing, but also the welfare of children is increasing. So what's happening? Well, the threshold for asking for support is being lowered. And very importantly, it's often families who ask for help. You don't have to be referred anymore. You come and you ask for this as a service like any other service your local government is providing to you. And this has to do probably also with less stigma, better understanding that these are interventions which are helpful for the family, for the child. Yet there are a few problems in the system, and we'll hear more about it later today, I think. Interventions are often too late. You start helping children when the problem is already there. You don't do enough to prevent the problem. You don't start in kindergarten, health station, etc., etc., early years of primary education. You wait too long to ask for help, and then the intervention is also coming a little bit too late, and the problem is already there. This is also something which is being discussed and which is included in child welfare reforms in Norway. And I think this is something which is very much of interest in the Estonian context and which is very much part of the program which we are launching today as well. So to sum up, what I'm saying is that we have something to offer, we have something to learn, we have a context for cooperation, and there is resources available, and you know where you're going. You can pick what we have managed to do, but you can also tell us where we are going wrong, and then I think we have established a mutual relationship which is of benefit to both of us, I mean both countries. And as a donor program partner, we are primarily here to help you identify what you're looking for and to establish a relationship with institutions, people, municipalities, whatever, which are helpful for what you want to achieve. So bilateral relation is important, and it's also one of the goals of the program. It's not only narrowing the economical and social disparities within the European economic area territory. It's also about establishing relationship between the donor and the recipient. I don't like the donor because we're also receiving, but basically there are two parts, and we don't necessarily receive the same thing, but it's a win-win situation for both of us. So good luck to the launch, and we expect to learn a lot from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ma arvan, et see oli hea sissejuhatus tänase päeva sisulisse poolde.